we are. West Coast Melees from sponsored by SoCal ASL. I think it was the 23rd or 24th West Coast Melee. The only other one I attended was I believe, West Coast Melee 4 many moons ago. So let's go inside, take a look at some of my after action reports. Thanks a lot. So here we are. This was round 1 of the West Coast Melee. Zwart's Madhouse. My opponent was Peter Strand. Never played him before. His name was familiar for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. And I asked him why his name was familiar during the game. Just didn't know. Just didn't know why. This game is 4.5 turns long, so 5 German turns. It's 5 German turns. So don't let the 4.5 confuse you. It's just that the Allies, the Dutch in this case, do not have a chance to counterattack after the Germans go. So victory conditions are obtain 7 of the 9 victory locations you see here. So they're kind of quirky that the other stone buildings aren't included, like E5 and F6. The ones back here, we'll zoom in just a sec. I don't like all the whiteness. So on this board down here, let me adjust that. Hold on. 130 seems to be the best. So we've got 4 on this board here, all wooden, and not very far to go, but just all wooden. And then we've got 4 stone, pretty much very close proximity, kind of split by the pond, so you do have some open ground between them. These ones are kind of shrouded by orchards, and then you have one on the left-hand side, the freebie. The freebie, if you can get to it. Over here on the left-hand side. Am I clear? Is that a clear image or just garbage light? Anyway, there's one over here as well. So it's SS 468 SS with ELR 3, not ELR 5, so you actually can reduce, versus ELR 2 Dutch. You have 468s on the attack. Let me pop the counters on the map. You got 468s on the attack. Let me back it up just an inch. So this was my setup here, and this was his setup. He has 2 bunkers, of which you don't know where they are when you first come on. So these bunkers essentially are non-existent. This guy would like have a concealment on him. And then this guy would also have a concealment on him as well. Although concealments don't do crap for interior of the thing. So technically these are all, and this is what I see when I set up. So my plan here was, let me pop Epic Pen. Let me find Epic Pen. Oh my god, there it is. Alright. So this is my idea here for the initial setup. Pop over here. And we'll choose red. We'll choose red. Okay. So down the bottom, not a lot of terrain, and the funny thing is if you look at the terrain, clear that. It's not hard terrain. There's no hard cover for him here. It's orchards, which is nothing. So he's relying on hindrance, and brush, which is relying on hindrance as well. The only real hard coverage that he has is Y5. If he defends back here, then I get all this to advance on. So I'm not sure what the Dutch are supposed to do in this one. Lots of hard hindrances for fire lanes and stuff like that. So the really only porous one is right through here. Plowed fields, if you don't know what these are plowed fields, which means they are not hindrances, but they are movement factor 1.5. It maintains the 1.5 movement factors. So let me try and go through this a little quicker. Down here, I put my LMGs on the bottom side. I'm splitting the game in half. I'm going top and bottom. Top has 6 squads defending it, and the bottom is 4. So I'm pretty much going 5 to 4, and then I had 13 squads, and then the rest of my guys 2, 4, 6, 8, probably 9 up there, 8 or 9 up top. But I put my LMGs here because the cover is light, and I can have 12 firepower. I got my little fire group right here, and turn 1 comes, and what I do is I assault move, and I assault move all these guys one at a time. Boom, boom, and then I don't think he opens up on me, and then I assault move these guys on over here, Again, you can assault move them. I'm not going to put concealments on them. I had concealments on them, but I'm not going to put concealments on them so you guys can see them. So all these guys assault move on here. Nobody's in LOS in open ground, but they're all in LOS, right? So I think there might have been another concealment thing up here. And this guy just assault moves into the stone building. I mean he's pretty much not going to go anywhere from there. But these guys, I take these guys up, and I think I see XSC in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He bounces. He blasts me. I think he gets a good thing, good result, and he gets blasted. Leaves 4 residual there, and I just go 1, 2, I think 3, 4. I do have an image of where I ended up, and then I think I put 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 7-0 followed. So over here, my idea was good coverage in the middle. I've got some decent firepower, not a lot, but he doesn't have like really hard cover. He's got woods, and again, I don't know what these guys were. He's got woods, hindrance, nothing, woods, nothing, and of course, when I come on is when he puts the bunkers. So these bunkers come on after my guys come on. The interesting thing here on the top part. The interesting thing on the top part is I'm +6 against him there, and I'm +5 against this unit over here. So it's 1, 2, yeah, because my -1 reduces that by 1. So I'm +5 for here, and he's +6 shooting back. So these guys can't pretty much fire on each other at all. So any fire between these guys is garbage, and this guy is garbage. But I do have a 12 chart right here. So 12 plus 6 is pretty crappy. So essentially, can't hurt each other. So the only person that's going to be doing anything is him. He's going to be trying penetrating back here. So we'll just clear that. So that's the idea behind that. After I didn't know his bunker was there. So I figured his bunker be, I don't know, maybe over here somewhere. So I didn't figure his bunker was there. So pretty much that kind of ties this guy down right here. But what I'm going to use this guy here for during the game is what I did use him for during the game is shots here, and shots here. All he's going to do with this 12 firepower is going to strip these guys concealment right there. This is going to be, let's assume it's going to hit this hindrance here. It's going to be 1, and then +2. He's going to negate it, so it's a 12 plus 1 shot, or 6 plus 1. This concealment will be gone. Same thing over here. That's hindrance over here. Same shot. That concealment will be gone, and this guy over here is going to be my least of worries because the guys up front are going to be moving and firing on him. So the 12 firepower is not to affect these guys because they can't, nor this guy. So I got no fire on those guys. At that point, I can't move in front of him either because -1, -2 shots. So I'll just suppress these guys over here. That's his purpose over here. So that's what happened first turn. Going down the bottom part of the map, it was really interesting. I'm assault moved in the advance phase, and I advanced them like that. These guys here, what I did with these guys is I said, you know, I don't want to clutter just stack squads up here that can't move because he's got a +3 terrain here. I don't know if these are all half squads over here on the side. I don't know if these are fake at the back because he had like 6 concealments on one side, 4 concealments on the other. So some of these guys are dummies. I didn't know what was going on there. I pretty much just let my 12 firepower stack here. Pretty much he's going to go, again, 6 even, 6 even, 6 even, 6 even, until what I'm going to do is just strip all the concealment as much as possible, get as much information I can then, and then I would make my move and, you know, jump over here and penetrate, or go this way and penetrate, one way or the other. That's the idea behind my 12 stack there. But I didn't want to quadruple stack of my squads over there and just kind of like have a traffic jam. I don't want traffic jam. Sorry, I don't want traffic jam there. I don't put like 6 guys there and one guy goes in the open because I really kind of didn't want them to break. I mean, 8 morale, it's going to be really good as long as he doesn't have like 12 firepower. I think they can withstand most of this firepower. And he doesn't really have a lot of sport weapons. He has 1 heavy and 2 lights, I think. And so pretty much the best firepower he's going to have is 8. 8 plus 1, 8 plus 2, maybe. My 8 morale should do pretty good on that. I split up these half squads. So eventually these guys would kind of go this way, and again maybe make a run over this way. It's all open ground. All this is open ground. So bait out a shot if necessary. So these guys, so they'll be like within a range of 3, 1, 2, 3, and that way these guys can at least assault move advance phase a little closer and then pop them. But I was going to play it very cautious on the left side. These guys, however, I CX'd over here. I think they were probably over here. I CX'd over here and an advanced phase on right here, CX'd. Concealed, mind you. These guys were still concealed. So I think they were over here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an advanced phase over here. So they were concealed as well. All these guys are concealed up to this point. So the next turn, this guy would just be firing here. I think he would lose concealment. Maybe he fired, maybe not. I think his bunker fired, lost concealment. Yeah, he fired at me like a 6 even shot, not a bad shot. And I don't think this guy in the back fired at all. So that was turn 1. This guy over here again blasted him. I think my guys ended up in this position in the advance phase. These guys ended, I think, up here. No, ended here in the advance phase. Okay. So that was the end of I think turn 1, I believe. Let me verify with the image. Yeah, I think it was the end of turn 1. Turn 2 comes. It was actually really interesting. Turn 2 comes along. Let me pop moves. He doesn't fire his HMG guy because it'll be, maybe he's afraid of the 12 guy over here, which I wouldn't blame him on that. This guy ends up being a dummy. There's a double stack there. So what happens is, I think he prep fires like the guys that he has available. I think he preps this guy. He preps the big tanker guy in the back. Oh my god, what is that prop? I think he preps him. Nothing happens. I think he preps him, and I think this guy breaks. This guy breaks, runs back. And that's pretty much my whole assault force just kind of, went to pot right there. So what happens at this point? These guys were CX because they had to double time to that location. I fire on these guys right here. Let me move my paper out of the way. I fire on these guys right there. I thought they were dummies. I gotta be honest, I thought those were dummies because it's just in the orchard, but he has 2 guys in the orchard right there. So I pop him like an 8 up 1, 8 up 1, or 4 up 1, really good. I didn't get a really low result, and I think one guy breaks. This is my defensive fire phase. I think he breaks, so he's oh, I'm not sure why he's in concealed. There you go. He breaks, they lose concealment. Delete. Okay. So no big deal. And then route phase comes. He routes back, and this guy's fine right there. And then nothing happens over here. I think I may have broken. I think I casually reduced the leader. I think he ELR failed, so he got banged up pretty hard. I think I wounded him as well. So it was pretty bad. And then next phase, and then his turn ends. I don't think he changes position. Maybe moves this guy up back over here. So, but I don't really have a lot to offer to attack him over on the outside. So my next turn comes. This is turn 2. So my second prep fire phase comes. I didn't have a first prep fire because I had to move on the board. I fire my stack down here on this unit right here. Let me see how the image really looks. So I fire this guy on this guy. It'll get 8 up 1, and I think I roll like a 3 or something like that. I think he gets a K result. So he gets blown up pretty bad, to be honest with you. I got a super low roll. He gets destroyed. And then my 9-1 with the 12 firepower, I think he fires on his leader here. I get a really good result there. I think his leader dies. I'm pretty sure his leader dies. Yeah. No, his leader breaks. Just break. I get a good shot. He misses a roll. I mean, it's like a 2 morale check. So his stack breaks. These guys are broken. There's one hidden guy here. I didn't do any of this guy because it's like plus 12, plus 12 to hit. This guy over here, I think he fired by the time he's revealed. So he's got a good solid defense core on the side. So these guys, essentially what I did here is I took my little half squad and I was just creeping up. I CXM 1, 2, bait dodge shot 3, 4, 5, 6. And then these guys are just, you know, I think he went 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I may have had another half squad, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course they were revealed as dummies. These guys here at that point when they were revealed as dummies, they just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5, 6, something like some stupid like that. And then actually I tried to bait out this shot over here from this unit down this row, but he didn't fire, so I said, okay, they're dummies too, or he's waiting for my 8-0 to cross. But considering his 9-1 was in dire straits, waiting for good units to cross is pretty rough. At that point I would fire, initial fire, and then defensive fire. So I figured he had to be dummies at that point, so I wasn't worried about him anymore. Then this unit here, I think he just kind of moved up into position like over here for a good flank on this side. You know, flanking fire, coming this way, maybe back to that location there, or here or here. So he has a little bit of cover there. Nothing happy to write home about. These guys stayed in position, just shooting, pop shotting, taking pop shots as it goes, and then I think these guys surrender. So I'm just gonna delete. I'm just gonna delete them. They surrender to these units here. I think these guys took them, or maybe it was like this. I don't know. I took him surrender because I want the other guys taking prisoners as well. I don't want guys running around. And I think these guys surrendered as well. So I think I had clone. There you go. The size doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So he surrenders there. So the essentially the entire central portion, completely gone. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 victory conditions. I think this guy routed back here, and at one point I was up. I think he came. Actually, I think I obtained the machine gun, and then moved. I think I advanced. Maybe I advanced the guy here. Yeah, the leader. I think the leader advanced here, and maybe he advanced over here just to cover the way. And these guys, I think, stayed there. These guys stayed there. I think one guy pulled back, and I got a shot on him. And I think I got like a straight up KA. It's -2, 4 -2, or 6 -2, or yeah, 6 -2. He's gone. He came out here, ran here, and I think I broke him when he entered the woods. So that kind of screwed him on that side. And then I think this unit rallied over here. Pretty sure this unit rallied. And then we just made advancements on here to keep him honest. I think he fired on me. 7-0 stayed there. 9-1 stayed there. Because I fired, that's what broke that unit. And then these guys made their way, I think, up here. This is marsh, not brush. Hard to move through, so I really can't move through there. So I was making my way up here to start the assault, and getting back to start the assault, going this way and making our way back to here. Other effective fire I had was again through here from the 12 firepower shot. I think he had some 237s. I think I broke a couple of them. I mean, it was just crazy. He broke and he had to route, and these guys had to route or something like that. So pretty much he didn't have much over here, and I think this unit broke as well. I'm not sure how much fire I had or whatever. I moved a half squad over here, try and flank him, but at that point, I think by the end of turn 3, I think we played 3 turns. By the end of turn 3, I think he had 1. I think this guy broke 2. In the next turn, I think he prep fired, no effect. I fired back, broke him. I think he had 1 or 2 squads that were active by the end of turn 3. He just couldn't make morale checks, and I rolled like 3s to 5s or something on the results, which 7 morale, as long as you keep giving him 1 morale checks, that's hard to do. So at this point, Peter conceded, and the entire middle, the entire left-hand side, which is where his strongest force is, it just collapsed. I'm not sure how it collapsed so fast, but you know, the lucky shot on the 9-1 took his HMG out of the game and his 9-1 out of the game before he even had a chance to fire. That seems to be a recurring theme in what I was trying to do. Is I was very cautious in many of my games, very cautious, and I wanted to see what my opponent was willing to give me. He wasn't willing to give me his location of his HMG. I actually didn't think it was there. I thought his HMG was going to be in a bunker, but again, your bunker's going to have a restricted covered arc, so it's pretty tough there. So yeah, so this is what the victory in the first game on Peter. So let's head to the second game, and we'll have that set up in just a second. All right, welcome to round 2 of after my first victory against, let me not forget his name, Peter. Again, Peter is a great player. Had a good time playing with him. He seemed very solid, trying to, you know, conserve his forces and stuff like that. But I think a couple early lucky dice rolls by me kind of put him on his back foot a little bit too soon. And so, you know, I rushed my guys to take advantage and take some risks. Hopefully he, you know, his dummies were dummies, and otherwise I would have just got destroyed by him right then and there because there was no room to rally. But anyway, on to game 2. Sudden death. This is ASL scenario 237. Didn't write it up there, but you could always check the roar. Look up sudden death. You'll find it. This is an odd scenario. I got to be honest with you. I'm going to go over how the game played, and then I'm going to go over how a lot of the players were describing the specific scenario afterwards, and you'll see that, and you'll determine that at the end of the game. So the victory conditions in this one, this is the setup here. You've got, well, I'm just going to go to the victory conditions, and then I'll go over the setup. VCR, first side to amass greater than or equal to 5, count them 5 victory points, more than it has lost. Key, more than it has lost, keep that in mind, wins immediately. So if we both lose 4 each, it's like even. Once you hit the +5 above your opponent, you will win immediately. And it's immediate. So like in the middle of the prep fire phase, if I've got 4 points and I CR one of your guys, boom, game over, which is really kind of odd. Usually it's the end of a player turn, something like that. So it says if neither side has accomplished this by game end, the French win by amassing more CVP than the Germans. But at game end, the side that controls the pillbox, which is right here, well, in this case, which is right here, gains 2 victory points. So if it's a slugfest, the pillbox will probably make the difference. And if it's a tie, then the Germans win. So not too bad, not too bad. Scenario special rules. Listen to these rules. It makes a big difference. EC or wet, no big deal, no win, who cares? A twilight light visibility hindrance of +1 at less than or equal to 6 hexes and +2 at all ranges greater than 6. Well, check a look at this map. There's like 3 spots that you could fire more than 6 hexes. So, and at that point, you know, what the hell? But anyway, essentially everyone has +1 on their fire. Everybody. Which, in this instance, gives the French a slight advantage. Again, keep that in mind. The French always have +1 in their defense. Their woods they have here, this is not jungle. This is the jungle board, though. Damn it, that's not that. So the woods they have here is essentially going to be +2. And on the flip side of that, the Germans have a lot of... I put them on top so you can see them. So all these guys are in foxholes. So they have a lot of... I think this is how... my opponent was Brandon Liesemeier, so he ended up being the melee champion. So I was ecstatic that I had played the melee champion. Great player. He used his dummies really well. Matter of fact, his movement or not movement, his baiting of me with his concealment markers actually caused... I got rolls on him, and his sniper's 5. He got 2 sniper checks out of it. So I'm not sure if they were effective, like 2s or 1s. They may have been, but he got 2 free sniper rolls. simply by using his concealed dummy units and baited my shots. And when you have your snipers that high, that's something you might want to consider, and that's exactly what he did, and it worked perfectly. So hats off to Brandon. Now I can see why he, I mean, there's no doubts that he, I mean, the quality of his play, he deserved the championship winner on that. So ecstatic to play him. I'm just happy for him. So that's great. So anyway, the pillbox must set up on the hill 601, which is the right hand side. The Germans set up in, wow. Oh, scenario special rule 2. Here we go. It says foxholes must set up in hill hexes. There's pretty much the whole damn map's a hill, so it's kind of hard not to do that. I mean, you probably don't want to set up. You probably don't want to set up down here in this area. I mean, although you could do that. I mean, a foxhole right here would be really good with a machine gun, because you can cover the entire river, or stream rather. And it is a stream, mind you. It is a stream, so you could cover the whole stream. This is a bridge, so it's pretty cool. And but on or south of hex row K, let me point this out to you. On or south of hex row K. Keep that in mind. I think this guy here in the front, I think this guy is in a foxhole. Let me change the color. Let me make it green or something. Let me make it brighter, just so you can see it when I point stuff out. Oh, yeah, that's better. Okay. All right, so I think this guy's in a foxhole. I'm just going to take one of these foxholes away. I'm not sure. I think this one was. I think he was in a. Yeah, he was in a foxhole, definitely. Because I remember he just put the counter on it, and then he grew one at the beginning of the turn. So there was just one counter on here, absolutely. And so I think it was like this. I think his setup was basically like this, and these guys were all out in the back. 1 leader over here, and he's got a big stack. He might have had a guy, a 447 back here in the trench, and maybe one guy in the pillbox. I don't recall, but essentially it's kind of what it ended up being. So, and it was pretty much static for most of the game. So, back this up. K, remember, keeping K. Mark this lane right here. The Germans can set up here, and we'll get to that at the end of the scenario. So pay attention. Remember, K, 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 K. So, I'll come back to that. All French, and this is another one. Read your rules, people. Read the victory conditions again, once, not twice, but 3 times, and then read them one more time, like after turn 2. Always come back to it, because I saw a number of mistakes some players made during their games, me being one of them, of course, that something was just slipped out of your mind dealing with the victory conditions, you know, whether it's this hex or that hex, or victory points or stuff like that. So very, very, very key. Just refresh. It takes a second. Pull the card out and say, oh shit, it's the east side, not the west side. Lots of times that'll happen. When you're playing the game for 6 hours, you don't want to waste your whole damn game because you misinterpreted a rule. Just read it when the guy's doing his rallies or something like that. Just check it out again, or check out a scenario special rule. Maybe look up what lax means, stuff like that. So anyway, scenario special rule 3, very important rule. We'll get to this later. All French multi-man counter are lax, not leaders, but the multi-man counters are lax. So during game turns 1, 2, and 3, it is a 7-turn scenario. I didn't mark the turns on here, unfortunately. 7-turn scenario, actually 6.5, so 7 French and 6 German. And but essentially half the game, the French will be lax. And then all French multi-man counters to the broken side increased by 1. I think this is the French Foreign Legion. Yep, Legion Étrangère. This is in Norway, Orneset, Norway. So very cool. Narvik, just near Narvik. So scenario special rule 4, very key SSR, very key. We'll touch on this later on. Hand-to-hand combat may be declared by both sides. Again, what's our victory conditions? Casualty or victory points. Hand-to-hand combat is the easiest way to kill anything in the game. Anything in the game, other than like a point blank, you know, infantry moving in front of your 150 millimeter howitzer in the open right next to you. It's like a 10 to hit. So yeah, anyway. Additionally, the defender. the defender may declare hand-to-hand, provided all attacking units were ambushed and or withdrawing pinned. So if they get ambushed, they get screwed. Keep that in mind. Hand-to-hand combat versus pillbox occupants is NA, obviously, because it's a pillbox. I mean, the guys in, yeah, it's a pillbox. So otherwise that'd be broken. You just come to the backside and you kill them. So fairly short game. Essentially 7 turns. 4, 5. How many hexes you got to go? How many hexes you got to go? You got, if you start from M, the French set up on M, so you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you go 1 hex per turn, you can occupy the pillbox hex. 1 hex per turn. But the obstacle you have in this scenario is the terrain. Half the game, Brandon and I were just staring at the terrain, trying to figure out movement factors, going up and down these damn double, triple crests. You got G5 to H6. Look at that monstrosity. This is like the Poland in Flames one. That's a monstrosity there. You go 1, 2, you get on 3 levels. It costs 3 to go in the stream. It costs 1 for each intermediate thing. So it costs 5 to go down there. Conscript units just explode going down to that hex. And going up, forget it. That's 6 MF to get up. So conscripts aren't doing nothing in terms of running around this map without being CX'd. So, and guess what? Half the German force, conscript. 4 out of 8 are conscript. Keep that in mind. And this, again, I'm going to reflect back on the scenario at the end. So, here's the setup here. The French set up with, they have 4 squads, 3 half squads, couple demos, medium support weapons, whole bunch of crap. Leadership, they have a 7-0 to start off with. Turn 2, these other losers come on over here. Right here, 8-1, 9-1. You got dismantle medium. You've got dismantle infantry gun. We'll get to the infantry gun. We got another demo, and they deploy the hot squads for you. I'm sure they do that to maybe give you a hint on what the hell to do. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I never seem to deploy my guys, and that's probably the reason I lose half my scenarios, just because that little guy running around can be a pain in the ass, and I'll tell you why. I'll show you why, actually. So, French don't start with a lot. Remember, 3 turns, everybody's lax. He's got a front up here, and he's got a bunch of dudes over here. Any fire on these guys, the foxholes, +3 because of low visibility. So, first turn, what I usually do, I think what I did was I went 1, 2 down the road. I think these guys went 1, 2, 3. I think I kept my concealment. I think I assault moved, advance phase. You know, assault move, advance phase, or maybe I moved up somebody. Maybe I moved somebody up here. And you don't want to advance into close combat. Why? Lax. They're concealed. You're +1. That's a 3 difference. You're screwed. You don't want to jump into close combat because, again, hand-to-hand combat, he will annihilate you if these are actual units. These guys over here, I think I just did assault moves. Remember, these guys are just concealed. I'm not gonna put concealments on these. And my point was, he's got his kill stack here. This is my plan. My 7-0, I think, ends up here. I just assault move him up. You know, I got a plan for the 7-0. He doesn't get to fire on anybody. Maybe I think I moved a guy down here. No, maybe he moved a guy here. I think I eliminated one dude. Yeah, I think I eliminated that guy, and I think we advance up here. Something like this. Something to this extent. Okay, and I think this guy. I think he stayed there, something like that. And so I didn't want to engage him in close combat. And his turn comes. He simply fires. He might have these guys. Again, these guys are concealed. Most of these guys are concealed. I think he stayed concealed most of the time. He did open up with this stack here. So this is his monster chart, his 16 chart. I was concealed here, so there'd be like he's gonna have 4 range. Heroes have a 4 hex range. So check this out. This is the mistake I made in the first couple turns. Although I have 8 morale, this guy was concealed. Actually, I think he had the demo. This guy was concealed. I think I kept this guy out of LOS or some BS like that. Again, we fight with the line of sight on this board because you got double crest here, level 2, level 3. Level 3 can't see over here to anything below because this woods here rises to level 3. So this hex really can't see much of anything. The only thing he could see is like stuff in this direction. This guy, only he can see is like that hex and like essentially a pillbox direction there. So keep that in mind. You don't have a lot of visibility until you hit the here. Until you hit here, and then you could fire, you know, like this. Location here, you could fire straight across, and like that. Location here, you're firing here, and like that. So you're very limited fields of fire in this one. And that's what I wanted to keep in my advantage. I didn't want him to be able to blast me into oblivion with his 12 or 16 charts and then just be done. So I think I advanced everyone like this. I may have split these guys up. No, I think I kept them like that because I think one of these guys fired and the other guy was concealed. I'm just going to conceal him. I think this guy was concealed. So I think this guy here opens up on me, and so I know there's a 5-3-6 there, so that's fine. And his big stack here opens up on me here, breaks this dude. And remember, morale's increased by 1. So I got one of this 4-hex range. If you stay within 5 hexes, the dice roll modifier for the hero will not apply. So I learned that at the end of turn 2. It's like, okay, no more 16 -1 shots or 8 -1 shots. I'm gonna keep concealed, stay out of his line, out of his direction of fire. Plus, at 4-hex range, look at what we have here: 447, 447, 149. These guys now have firepower. So if you have a concealed unit in 5 hexes range, you're gonna have 2, 4, and then half of 8 is another 4. So that's 8 firepower. Actually, 2, no, even worse than that. He doesn't count. He's 2, he's 2, and then this is 8, so it's 12. So if he's firing on a concealed unit, that's only gonna be a 6. So it goes from 16 down to 6 with 1 hex. And the loss of the modifier. So it's actually even worse. So it goes from 16 -1 to 6 even. So that's huge, huge difference. Stay at a range of 5. Know what your opponent wants to do and know what you have to manage. And guess what? If you take a look at your full squads, which I can't find them here, what's his range? 5-hex range. You will dominate at 5 hexes. He will eat shit at 5 hexes. Conscript, 3 hexes. 447s. Range, range, range. Use the range against him. Stay there. Pound him. If these 4-3-6s miss their morale, there's a good chance with a ELR 3 is actually very, very, very high for conscript units. So it's very unusual. ELR 3, I'm sure it's a balance issue. And if they fail the ELR, they'll disrupt. Check that out. So what I do, rally back here, terrain's really bad. So he fires. Second turn comes. Where's my infantry gun? I move the big boy up here. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, and then I think 7, 8, and then 9 with the road bonus. So he counter exhausted. This guy here, guess what he's got? Infantry gun. So I move him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we advance. I think we advance over here. And what I do is the 7-0 essentially will then be the mobility for the infantry gun over here. So this essentially, second turn comes and goes. I stay pretty much exactly where I am. He stays pretty much exactly where he is. I might have moved the other. I might have moved the demo charge guy like right here, and that's where I've determined that look, I'm out of range. He doesn't have that big range anymore. So he took a shot at me here, and I think this guy opened up on somebody. So concealments in pillbox, you do not get half firepower against them. It's just that you can't inspect them, so not a big deal. Concealment in pillbox is the +3 is what you're worried about. plus the hindrance raises it to +4, you're in big trouble. Pillbox is just an easy shot, but give me 2 seconds, I'll get to it. So end of turn 2 movement, this kind of happens over here. I think my 8-1 and demo, I think they advance over here. 248, maybe he went with them too as well. Or maybe he stuck around. Let's just assume he stuck around. Third turn, turn 3, half the game. 2. Maybe I go 4. Maybe I go 2, 4, 6. That's maybe what I do there. And then maybe I advance up here. I don't know what I do. But anyway, I get the infantry gun over here. Why do I want to get the infantry gun over here? 2 rate of fire. Beautiful device. Check this out. And then I'll do my turn 2 movement. I think he ends up over here. 9-1 squeaking up here. I get the medium machine gun. Yeah, I switched and mantle this medium machine gun. So I got him. God dang it. I got one guy with the medium up here. I think he ends up over here. He ends up here or here. And this guy ends up here. Encroaching upon him, right? I think this guy, again, he uses this guy, gets a sniper check out of it, nothing. So I think I move. He rallies? No, he gets killed. This guy dies. He kills like a squad and a half of mine, I think, early on. Turn 3, I think this guy unit advances here. He advances here. We're moving up like this. I split this so I don't lose everybody in one shot. And it gives me good firepower because now he's in open ground. He can fire multiple directions. Again, safe from fire over here because I think it's level 2. Yeah, it's level 2, I think. Yeah, he's level 2, so he can't see. His big stack is here in F3. He can't see over here to J8. So that flank is clean. They only have to worry about the guys right in front of him, and with 6 morale, I'm not worried about the guys in front of me because my firepower will defeat that within a couple rounds. And then I got an 8-1 leader, backing that up. So anyway, I think I end up moving a guy in here on turn 3 or so, and just getting ready to kind of assault. I think the demo charger's over here. This guy, the demo charger's over here. This is actually hilarious. So, and this guy's concealed. I will put a concealment on this guy now, and the reason why we'll cover in a minute. So, and these guys were concealed the whole time. He wasn't. Yeah, I guess he may have been, and I think he ends up getting killed. So by this time, I think he's got like 3 points. I don't have any, or I may have got a lucky shot on this guy here. This guy broke early, and with the trench, you can just move directly to the trench. So I did break that guy early. I think second or third turn, I think the hero takes a wound. He gets killed. And then the 9-1's by himself, and I think one of these guys CRs or something like that. But passes a morale check. So his firepower's reduced down to 8, something like that on the hill. Not a problem. Oh, yeah. The guy on the bot, the reason why he broke, infantry gun. Tell me what happens with the infantry gun. There's no flip. When you fire an ordnance weapon against a pillbox, and you hit that pillbox, well, first of all, the pillbox modifiers, TEMs, do not apply to AP shots. So he has AP. A lot of infantry guns do not have AP. This one has 37 asterisk. So it is within 6 hexes, so you'd have to worry about the asterisk. I think that starts at 12. You're never going to get a range 12 shot here. But that does give me 2 firepower and a rate of fire 2. So I hit him easy, 2 firepower. I think I need a 6 on the 2 chart. What do we need? We need a 6 on the 2 chart for a pin task check. 5 is normal morale check, which is a sniper. So pin task check, 1 morale check. If you get lucky, you're just harassing him. So anybody that goes in there is going to get shot 2 even. Funny thing is I got 2 critical hits on that guy. So they say, Stu, damn, you must have destroyed him with 2 critical hits. Well, there's one thing about pillboxes. When you crit pillboxes with the gun, with the AP equivalent, it's one of the exceptions that you do double your firepower. So my double firepower goes from 2 to 4. Strong. you don't get the -3 modifier. You don't get the +3 or reverse to -3. So essentially, I went from a 2 flat to a 4 flat. It was a kind of a flat critical hit, but I kind of got him back to back. And so I think I CR'd one of his guys at that point. Very flat attack. I did get a couple crits. An infantry gun was effective and exactly what I wanted to do. That's exactly what I want to do with the infantry gun, is just sit there and harass the pillbox. Palm, 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 palm. Because if my units got across, let's see, we go down here and boom, because that's a road, right? He's covering the road with all of his firepower. If my guys get across for some reason, he can't just throw a guy in a pillbox and start gunning my guys down. You know, can't do it. I don't want that to happen. So this guarantees a constant harassment fire, constant harassing fire. Boom, boom. You know, if you go in there, I'm going to have a shot on you. I'm going to have a shot on you constantly. And guess what? How far is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of range, baby. That squad back there, if he fires his inherent plus the LMG, half firepower, which is 2. And then the LMG's normal range, so he'll have a 4 plus 2 because of the low visibility hindrance. That's excellent defensible terrain. And me firing back at him, we'll be firing 2 even, 2 even, 2 even, 2 even, 2 even. 4 plus 2, garbage. 4 plus 2, garbage. So luckily that that came to be. That was the idea between putting the infantry gun there versus up here, because it doesn't really do anything up there, to be honest. So my medium guy, I think he breaks turn 3 or 4. He routes over here. Demo charge, I think 9-1 comes over here. The demo guy goes over there. I think I route him back 2 spots. And the funny thing is I put this DM guy up on the hill, and I wanted my 7-0 to get to him. Again, I'm 3 hexes away from this guy. I need to get 3 hexes from here to there. Right? That is 7 hexes or 7 movement factors there. Or for some reason, maybe my 7-0 was back further. And so what happened was, even CXing, I couldn't get to him, because that'd be 2, 4, and then 8, or it'd be 2, 4, 6, and then advance up on top of him. So for some reason, my 7-0 couldn't get to him, which I was really frustrated about. That's like, damn, I just can't get to him. So I did move him over there and left the infantry gun to fend for itself. But the key to the game, I think I got a couple points in her early, and this is rather odd. This is where a lot of players had an issue with a specific scenario, and then we'll kind of end it right here, and then we'll go into the specific thing. So my guys are here down here. I think maybe this guy got killed or something like that. I'm just going to delete him. Didn't get a chance to use demo charges. This guy didn't have a demo charge. What happened was this conscript here, he broke, and the beautiful things that happens to conscripts, he disrupted. And I think one of these guys back here broke, and I think he had to route backwards. Right? 7-0 goes, helps him. This guy disrupted. What do I do? Movement phase? All movement factors to move in this hex. And then these guys, pretty much they just jump into the water. Because now I'm making my push up the hill. So disrupt, no normal, self-rally, no normal route, self-rally. What happens? Boom, boom, boom. And we just scored 2 victory points. And at the end of the game, we'll score 2 more victory points. So he was 2 victory points up on me. This made it even. And at the end of the game, the 2 victory points for that cancels out the bunker. So that was pretty crazy. One of the funny thing is, and that's the killer thing over here. One of the funny things over here is right at the beginning of the game, I knew this guy had to be real. I knew this guy because you can't put a dummy counter just 1 stack. So I knew he had to be real. It's like, man, do I remember that rule correctly? Is there a guy there, or is there a concealment counter there? God, I can't remember. I'd say that's kind of BS if there's just a concealment counter. I know there's got to be 2. You can't have a dummy nothing. And so I forgot that was a real unit. So what did I do? What did Stu do? You know, don't give up. Don't, like, you know, relax. I advanced this SOB in there into close combat. Past turn 3, so no more lax. What happens? What do you think I rolled? Yep. 5. My 5, he rolled like a, doesn't matter. I think like a 3 or ambushed me. Actually, he's lax too. But anyway, he ambushes me, kills me. My demo charge gets dropped off to the side. Oh, you know what? That's kind of funny. That's actually kind of awkward because in terms of weapon recovery, they're considered two different locations. But what happened is he killed my unit, lost a victory point, and then next turn he recovered the demo charge. Actually, I think I jumped into the foxhole with him, just in case he shoots at me. That's what the deal was. So I'm sure I was in there. So he recovers the foxhole, and this whole while, I think I had another 248. Maybe it was another 248 over here. Yeah, I think there's a guy right there or something like that. So maybe he had a demo over there. This guy rallied by that time. No problem. He moved up. And so what he tried to do is he tried to throw the demo charge on my 9-1 the very next turn because I advanced into my turn. The next turn, 436 wants to throw my demo charge. And I said, I don't think you can throw it up a hill. It's like smoke. Kind of reminds me of the smoke going up a hill. Doesn't work. Yeah, you can't throw demo charges up an elevation. You can drop them down an elevation. Like you could drop it down into the marsh or over here, something like that. But he said, okay, that's fine. No big deal. So he throws it. He throws it. Maybe it's defensive fire. I don't think he can advance. I don't think he can attack. Anyway, he threw it. I think we screwed this one up. He throws a demo charge on my unit over here. And so that's a 30 plus 2 and a 30 plus 5 on him. Well, he's got 6 morale and I got 8 morale. What happens? This thing blows up, doesn't malfunction, even with a double capture, non-qualified. He rolls really low, breaks my dude, and his guy, he had like a 1 morale check or something like that. I think I got a 2 morale check. He had a 1 morale check on this guy. He ended up being fine, no problem. So he broke my dude here, and I think this guy was broke also. And so I was in. Maybe he broke again by moving up, and these guys were gone. I think I got another sniper on those guys by trying to kill them. So in that case, I said, well, now I got to shoot at these guys because they're adjacent. So I blast him. I actually roll like a 3 or something like that. So I half squad him and disrupt him at the same time. And so what happens there? Where's the disruption? Come on, baby. There it is. So I kill him, get another victory point, disrupt. What'll happen? At the end of that phase, at the end of the route, or the route phase, he will then... Yep. He will then surrender. So, I've got 2 points sitting over here. I've got 1 point sitting over here. So, I got 2 points for the capture. 1 point for the capture. 1 point for the kill. And then I've got, I think at this point, I think I won instantly with the victory points that were done. Or if the only thing I could do, and this is where the kind of the taste of the scenario gets a little bitter. I think the whole point is to capture, assault the hill, right? I mean, the French are coming on, kicking ass, 8 morale, 3 demo charges. Let's go up the hill, blow shit up. Once you capture these 436s, you know, once you capture those bad boys, guess what? Get the hell out. What's he going to do? Get the hell out of Dodge. These guys will count in double at the end of the game. You know, Germans will get the 2 over here, so what? You'll get 2, 3. You'll get 3 points for that guy, so it's a -1. So it just didn't leave a good taste in the mouth at that point. And that was only 2 conscripts I broke. And if I did another one, it's just like you're dead. So essentially the conscripts are the major Achilles heel in this particular scenario. So yeah, my Brandon pointed out that I won instantly because of 5 victory points because I kind of again lost track of exactly how that occurs. And so he taught me that as soon as you get the prisoners, they count to then, whatever the prisoner thing is, they count points right then and there. And then they count again at the end. So they don't just count double at the end. You get the points right then and there, and then you also get them later. Something that the little subtlety with the casual readings of the prisoner rules will escape some players. It did escape me. Brandon educated me on that. Thank you so much, Brandon. So I didn't know that I'd won at that time, so it was kind of weird. But anyway, it felt weird that the French attack first. You know, they want to go on here and just pound the attack, right? Pound the attack. And then if they get 3 or 4 points with some prisoners, they just essentially skulk back into the woods and just say, forget it. We don't need to take that damn hill. So it's kind of weird. But oops. Let me go back to the ready. So with that, I ended up winning that particular scenario. But let's go back to the scenario special rules and the hand-to-hand combat. And maybe, just maybe, another one of my friends had played the scenario. He played the Germans, and he had the same situation with the Germans. He just lost units, and you just lose because the 4.36s are garbage. This is what I think about this particular scenario. These guys are coming on late. The French don't have a lot of guys early. Let's see, this guy's out. So the French don't have a lot of guys early. I'm just going to flip this guy over. Well, get rid of that. So the French kind of set up like this, right? The 8-1's not there. 8-1 isn't. Oh my God, are you kidding me? All right. So the French are kind of like this, very weak force. They have 4 squads, 3 half squads. Germans have 8 units, 8 full squads. This is my thoughts on this. And this is where I think the scenario kind of gives you a hint of what you maybe should be doing. And I didn't read the aftermath, but yeah, it says the Legionnaires, not expecting much resistance, following the naval bombardment, stumbled onto the German destroyer crews entrenched along the fjords. After a brief but vicious close combat, the Germans were able to withdraw to even better prepared positions. So, read your aftermath. Read your aftermath. Read your SSR. This is what I didn't even read the aftermath, and I thought of, okay, so what do the Germans need to do, reflecting on the scenario? If they sit up on the hill, the French have longer range. They pound them until they disrupt or get a spot where they can get over and throw demo charges and blow them to hell. Right? They really don't need the bunker because the 4.36s are garbage units. Charge the 4.36s, break them, disrupt them, and they're your best buddies. They'll surrender to you, and you practically win by capturing 2 squads, to be honest. So, what my thoughts were, the French are coming on here. Let's ignore the broken ones, right? They'll be concealed, but remember, you can set up on row. Actually, it's in a special rule. On or south of hex row K. Well, look at the terrain in hex row K. Let me zoom in here. You've got horrendous movement factors. From L5, from L6 to K7 is how many movement factors? Just a regular movement. That's 4. 4 movement factors. So, boom, 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 boom. Right? Maybe a foxhole over here. You know, maybe some prepared defenses over here. But 4. You have 4 4.47s. Remember, you could also deploy these. You may also deploy your units. Maybe something you want to do. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and deploy one. Right. Boom. Let's put one here. Right. And let's put and he's got a bunch of dummy stacks. Let's put some dummies here. And dummy there, right? And these guys have concealments on them. The rest of the guys have concealments. So the French can't really, I mean, they could go assault move, or they could go 4, 6 into him, bounce off. He loses concealment. The French loses concealment. But again, entrenchments +2, low visibility +1. This guy advanced firing on him is going to be a 6+3 shot. 6+3. Nothing happens to him. You roll in the 6+3 100 times. What do you need for a result? You need a 4, and that doesn't include the double 2s. So you only have 2 chances of rolling a 4, and then a 3, and then a 2. 2 will cower. It doesn't matter. So you got 2, 2 3s, and 2 4s. You have 5 out of 36 of affecting this unit. You know? And if you don't do it, let's say you jump into close combat. And we'll get to that. So French move up. The assault move up, right? Let's just say whatever. His assault moves up. Because they may or may not want to move into him, because then the Germans can defensive fire against them. Remember, I had a 4+1 shot on him. Because he's non-assault moving. Because you got to go 2 hexes to drop my concealment. Non-assault moving. +1 hindrance. And then the +1 wood. So I'm a 4+1 free shot. You do that with a 4-4-7. He bounces off this guy here. Right? Comes back. That's an 8+1. That'll break 8 morale units. Right? And if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't cause the loss of concealment, let's say he just sits there, he just advances up. Let's just say he just advances up like me. I was taking it very casual. He just advances up. And then let's say he jumps one guy in close combat. Well, let's check that out. Let's check that out. If you want these charts, you know where to find them. If not, look at the back of your thing. You get QRDC. I just happen to have this right here, so don't worry about it. So hand-to-hand combat. Frenchies are lax. These Germans, because you're not going to put your conscripts up there, you don't want to put your conscripts up in front because that negates your bonus. Essentially negates the French penalty of being lax. You're both lax because they're conscripts. Conscripts over here, pretty much defending whenever this gets done. So they have 3. Maybe they're reverse slope defending, or in a bunker, something like that. The reverse slopes to get the point blank shots. Hell, maybe they're down here for point blank shots. You know, to put them on the bridge. That's not a bad spot, honestly. Maybe put a foxhole here. Whatever. Anyway, close combat. You ambush him. Let's just say you ambush him. 2-3-7 to a 4-5-8. Whether to kill on hand-to-hand close combat, because the defender, scenario special rule 4, the defender may declare hand-to-hand combat. So, what is that? I ambush him. The Germans ambush him. The French get ambushed. 2-4 is a 1-2. Declare hand-to-hand. Base value is 6. That is correct. 6. -1 for ambush makes it a 7. Crappy roll. Good roll. Good roll. Good roll. Good roll. Crappy roll. Crappy roll. Crappy roll. Just by these 8 rolls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of them, you kill him. You will kill him just about, it's about right, because 7's like about 56% of the time. You will kill him 56% of the time. What happens in ASL when you kill the unit and you ambush him? 1, he's dead. You score 2 victory points. 2, you get the hell out of Dodge. Back up. Back the hell up. Right? You score 2 victory points for free. Next time, next units come, you don't care about the foxholes. You're just worried about the foxholes being there to protect you against their first advanced fire phase. What happens later? You either stay in the foxholes, then guess what? You're still half, you advance out. Or if he fires on you, because he's going to be solo, let's say he fires on you point blank shot, because you're not going to be moving out of there. He fires 12 plus 3. What you need? 6 for a no morale check. Let's say he drops concealment. Nothing happens. Let's say you pin task check or whatever, or no effect. If in that case, you can either withdraw, have your dummies withdraw, or keep them there. I would probably withdraw to concealment terrain. Maybe keep this guy up here. Withdraw to concealment terrain, and if he removes your concealment, you simply advance into close combat with him. Why the hell would you do that, Stu? Why the hell would you advance into close combat when he is supposed to be the one attacking? Well, scenario special rule 3, all Frenchies are lax. Elite Garbo. Garbo, Garbo, Garbo. You have the 7 morale units up front, your best units up front, because the 6s will disrupt. If you fail a morale check, they're goners. The 7s, you don't care if they disrupt, or you don't care if they ELR fail. Well, if they ELR fail, they're going to be broken. But let's say for all sakes of argument, he doesn't break, which is a good chance because of the +1 low visibility. You jump him into close combat, +1, let's see, your ambush roll, boom, my ambush roll, boom, no big deal. Guess what? I'm the attacker. Hand-to-hand combat may be declared by both sides. The defender may declare it if he ambushes. So, I declare, again, hand-to-hand close combat. Do I care that he gets an attack back? I don't give a crap. Why? We'll get to that. First of all, I've already got 2 points. Let's say I don't have 2 points. Hand-to-hand close combat. We're both even. We're 1-to-1. 1-to-1 in this case. 1-to-1, baby. What do you need in 1-to-1 close combat? 7. 7. What's the chance of rolling a 7? Boom. 50. Boom. Dead. 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 See if I'm getting that? Most of those rolls will score you points, baby. One way or the other, they're scoring points. Kills him. Let's say we kill him. Let's say he kills us, right? Both hand to hand, no close no ambush. We kill each other. Check it out. What are we at? We're up 2 squads to 1. That's at the end of turn 1 or turn 2. 2 squads to 1. Okay. These guys are retreating down the hill. Boom. 1 hex at a time. 1 hex at a time. Maybe this guy moved over here, he moved over here, and this guy moves down here. Remember, it's okay to have dummies in this front row because he's gonna have to fire on somebody. And these guys kind of skulk up here, and you gotta get my other guys coming over here because that was the plan, right? This guy's dead. My guy's over here. Come on, and boom. You know, holy crap! What are these Germans doing over here? I think I eliminated 2 other units. Let's assume these are units here. No, I'll get those units on there. I eliminated 2 other units from previously. So let's say he moves up here. Again, that's going to be a lot of movement factors. And he moves over here. We'll just clone these guys. This is what we killed earlier, right? Bear with me. Bear with me on this one. If you're bored, turn it off and go watch another ASL video. So he's advancing, just like I advanced. This is where I was in my second turn. Cautious advance, because you have the lax. You don't want to get screwed with the lax. Germans has some decent forces up front. And let's say this is all we have up front. Let's say we didn't put all 4 of our 447s up front. We put 2 of them. So that means we have 2 more back here. Well, he's dead. So we got another one defending. Another one defending, right? Well, just throw them up there. I don't care where they are. It doesn't really matter where they are. All right? I'm just gonna move this guy down here. They're gone. Get rid of that crap. That's so the Germans are here. Right? He would have gained concealment at the end of the turn. Boom. Concealed again. They move up like that. You do nothing. They advance fire. If they want to advance in front of you, because again, you're giving up your bodies for terrain. Let's say he advances. Let's go. Boom. We're all over you, Stu. We're all over this. Let's see. He just advances down here. So boom. These are dummies, right? He was scared. Not a dummy. Lax. -2 concealment. Ambush. Germans. French. Boom. Ambushed. Guess what happens? Go back to turn 1. 1 to 2 -1. 7. Bye-bye. And we retreat. How many victory points do we have now? 6. How many do they lost? 2. We're up 4. How many points do we need for an instant victory? 1 point. 1 point. And they haven't even gotten to our major kill stack. They haven't even got to the 9-1 hero that I've deleted. That's going to fire 16 -1 on somebody. Rate of fire, you're firing following up with an 8 -1. You will casualty to reduce almost anything under the sun. That's almost a guaranteed kill. He did get a kill on me the second shot on my 248 that was kind of like sitting in the brush. He got at least 1 victory point out of this kill stack right here. 2 turns, just by average rolls, you get the kill. And at that point, if you're 1 point away, you know, because this guy's gonna, let's say this guy maintains concealment because he killed his opponent in close combat. Guess what happens next turn? German turn, assault move. He fires on him. 8, 12, half, 6 + 2. 6 + 2 is what? 9, garbage. You guys keep my concealment. What happens in the advance phase? Nothing. Well, anyway, advance. I advance to open ground. Don't really care. Don't really care at this point. Why? Lax. Lax is good. Roll a die. Roll a die. Both 6s. No ambush. But guess what? Hand-to-hand combat. Gone. Safe. Frenchie be gone. Instant. Immediate victory. Immediate victory. And it makes sense. The defense makes sense. And this, honestly, that's the first time I read the Aftermath. So the Aftermath really and truly tells you how to win the scenario. Or have a chance at winning the scenario. It's really odd that this scenario will do something like that. That pretty much the fight is on the first hill. And then if you trade squad for squad, let's say we lost everything. And we lost this little guy right here. And then we lost this guy. Let's say we just lost everything over there, right? But he lost the same amount, right? So we've got a squad, and we got a squad, and then we got a squad up on that. Let's say we're a half squad up on him. Well, what's he have left? He started with 6 squads and 5 half squads. That's his whole force. 6 squads and 5 half squads. Well, he has half of his squads, and he only has 4 half squads left. So he's essentially has 5 squads. 5 squads left. One of them's going to be sitting over here on the infantry gun. Well, no, actually the cruiser. Don't worry about that. He's got 5 squads with these mediums and demos that, if the Germans just kick back, they get +2 for the bunker, baby. He's got 5 squads to get across this stupid stream. And guess what? That's where the 436s shine. He moves in the stream because you're concealed. Your firepower will be limited. He might break you, whatever. He moves in the stream. At that point, the 437s and the other 2 447s you might have, you know, big boy in the tower up here starts shooting guys down here. If 2 guys break, what happens? His whole force is garbage. He's only got one more full squad. The rest of them are just half squads. So you literally can win the game by setting up right in front of his face. Right in front of his face. I'm actually going to try this. I'm going to play somebody. I don't know. Maybe I'll play my local face-to-face player Brian, and maybe I'll try this and see where it goes. See where my luck goes, because you can literally win the game by turn 3, which I kind of won by turn 4 by just pounding him on the other side. So odd scenario. I felt that all the Germans that set up over here, that just strictly saw, he did set up a couple units on the other side. I'm not sure that they were strong enough. I think they did what they needed to do. But if you set up all the Germans on this side, the French just move up to firing positions, and break a couple units. And then you could advance up. Then it cracks a hole into the defense, and you advance up. So, kind of a long-winded explanation of the AAR. But I think it's important to note that many players who played this at the tournament kind of defended the Germans up where the bunker is, or all their guys, most of the guys on the back side of the hill, or on this side of the hill. But then the French just kind of creep up and shoot at them, and then on turn 3, their lax status goes. At that point, you're not going to have the advantage of ambushing them. So you have to fight them one-on-one, boom, boom. And they have 8 morale, you don't have 8 morale. So I think the key is jump in close combat, either with concealment or with the lax, and sometimes that's all it takes is that +1. That's all it takes. And I don't think the French want to risk the 8-1 or any leaders in close combat because they're an extra victory point, and because if you get ambushed, he goes hand-to-hand on you and pretty much wipes you out. A 1 to 2 hand-to-hand ambushed is a 7 for a casualty reduction. Yeah, no, you don't want that. So, again, great game with Brandon. I ended up winning this one with an instant victory condition that he pointed out. Round 2 was sudden death. I just wanted to point out some of the strategies in this specific scenario that that frustrated some players. And I didn't think of this until after reflecting on the game and speaking of how'd you do, and looked at some other people's setups, and then I said, wait, lax, first 3 turns, and I could set up right in front of your face. So, but you don't want to put your 4-3-6s there. You don't, even though they're crap, you don't want to put them all there. You want to put your best units in the front because you need that morale just in case he rolls a 6 and gets a normal morale check. Even if you pin, who cares? Again, let's say he pins you. Let's say you have a regular squad here and he has a full squad here. Let's say he pins you. Advances you in close combat. He still lacks. Your pin status will make that even. Right, boom? If you should happen to ambush him in that case, that's a miss. 1, you slow him down in close combat. 2, you might be able to kill him. At that point, it's just regular close combat. Boom, boom. And he gets a 7, you get a 3, or vice versa. You know, that still slows him down. So, but you need the morale unit up there. The 6 morale units will crumble like rotten cheese. You know, like Roquefort. What is that Roquefort cheese that just crumbles? So they will just crumble away. There's a gnat in here somewhere. So you don't want to do that. That's not what you want to do. Thank you, Nat. And so that's what I think is the key to this particular scenario. I wasn't the Germans, so I was fortunate to you know, that he didn't take advantage of that potential strategy. But again, Brandon did very well in his usage of dummy units in getting me to fire at them at the right times, and he got snipers on them both times. I did roll some good dice against him. Against the hill, broke a couple units here and there, disrupted the guy here and there, broke the guy down bot, critted the pillbox twice, and then just accumulated some victory points from prisoners. And even if I didn't get the instant victory points, I didn't need any more. I would just back away, and that's kind of left a sour taste in my mouth at that point. But anyway, sudden death, round 2. We're heading on to round 3. This is just a transition. I forgot to mention my opponent's name at the beginning of this scenario. Round 3 was J. Elwell from Truckee. I enjoyed playing with you. Thank you for your integrity and your ass kicking and trying to give me the toughest game I can have. So thank you for playing me in the final round of the championship game. Thanks to Jay. And here's the after action report on our game. Enjoy. All right, here we are in round 3. I'm going to butcher this name. The Zwarte Duivels. What's on the screen? Anyway, mission. The Germans win at game end if they have accumulated more victory points than the Dutch. So the Germans need more victory points. Both sides earn casualty victory points normally. And the Germans also earn victory points for each good order German unit in a building north of the canal with a line of sight disregarding smoke to a bridge. Well, in this case, the north is at the bottom part. So anything this side here we need to be north of the canal, which is down south, down this way. Okay. So he has 4 5.48s across the bridge, 1 LMG and a 9-1 who's like heroic, but he doesn't wound as a hero. He can actually break as a leader. So he could actually, he's like a broken hero. It's like a bastardized version between the two. So essentially he has 1 firepower, you know, -1 at range, or he could just be a regular leader. But the way he dies is just like a regular leader. So he has 4 guys, 4 5.48s on this side of the river, and he's got, this is how his setup was, on the opposite side of the river. So he set them up here. I think the reason why he set them up here is to try and cover lines of approach, like here and down through here. These are good open ground shots. I think he was just going to get across, and of course HMG can fire down here and or move across later or cover his move. Okay, so he had a decent setup for his 4.67s or so. We had a discussion afterwards on how he could have changed the setup. Anyway, we'll go over my setup. This is late in the evening. I started this one late for some reason. I think it's what was it, 8 or 9, 10, whatever. We started this one late, and then Nat's still around. So my setup: HMG, 3 4.58s, 8-1, regular squad, half squad on second level. Stu, what the hell are you doing? We'll get to that. Second level, half squad. Stu, what the hell are you doing? Mortar. This should tell you what the hell I'm doing. 9-2. This is my strike squad. 9-2, 2 LMG toting squads, and a 4.58, and 2 bad boys right behind him. What are these guys for? Reserve for when these guys break. When they break, these guys take their position. These guys go back, and we don't lose any firepower up front. Okay, my strategy in this one: mortar. Let's flip this bad boy over. That's mouth. We don't want mouth. Mouth doesn't work. Anyway, the mortar, on the back side of the mortar, it has a smoke 8 component. Check your ordnance weapons, people. Oh, I get 2 armored cars that come on. I get 2 armored cars that come on turn 2. They're pretty much crap, but they're 5 victory points, and they have 37s and machine guns, 2 and 2, and they have a rear firing machine gun of 2, which is a bow, which is very important. It's not a turreted machine gun, it's a bow rear facing machine gun. I screwed that up early in the game, and it was very disadvantageous for me. So anyway, they're all 4. They come on turn 2. Very important turn 2. Stu, why the hell do you have this guy up here at level 2 when you need to get units here? Because if he has units in any of these buildings that has an LOS to a bridge, even way over here, he gets extra victory points for those. So if he just has, if these guys just back up, right? The game ended right here. He would score 2, 4, 6, 8 points. 8 victory points. If I don't kill 8 victory points with the guys, he wins. You know, it's that simple. So we need to get these units, and we need to get these units broken and dead. I think this guy was right there. I think he was right there. So I decided to be very aggressive in this one. I decided that pretty much I'm going to try to win on the first turn, which you probably don't want to do, but you have to be aggressive because you can't allow the Germans to get across the road. You do have a number of forces, but they kind of get split by the HMG running down the road here. If you just go for the Citadel in the middle and you ignore these guys over here, well, that's going to be 4 victory points that he has just for free. Just for free. You'd have to kill these guys without losing anything. He gets it for free. If he gets this guy across, this guy comes across, now you got to kill more guys. So you got to stop them from crossing these bridges. So my plan, this is what happens turn 1. My plan is to fire smoke and to get line of fire on that hex right there. At all costs, get line of fire here. Here I'm not worried about because my mortar's here is not moving. If he shoots my mortar, which is in place because I'm in and orchard and not in paved road. I still have it in placement. He has a -1. I'll take an 8 up 1. I'm 8 morale. You know, if I fail that, whatever. He's prepped fire. You know, he didn't get to move. This guy might be able to move. Maybe I could fire a squad on it or something like that. I mean, it's not that big a deal. But again, it uses his fire. So we need to defend this road, defend this. My entire point was move these units here. Let me move that down a little bit. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. Move them there and assault this building with 5 squads. Okay? I am going to reduce it down a little bit though. Move up. Move up. Take 5 squads into his 2. Got to kill the leader on this side. No leader on this side, no rally on this side. So he did split his leader from the main citadel. Good choice. I don't know. He's got his HMG kind of protecting him anyway, so not that bad. It makes me split my forces. But my HMG here. Say, Stu, why don't you put your HMG with your best leader? Well, because if you screwed the pooch with your best leader on a shot, then you screw the pooch with 2 powerful weapons, your 9-2 and your 6 morale and your 6 firepower. Think of it this way. If you put the 6 firepower weapon with the squad, what are you doing? You're essentially giving it a -1 because it will increase it by the next chart. Well, these guys already have -2. Why bother with another -1? The 4 firepower, the machine gun gets me the extra -1 as it boosts to the next row. It's one way of thinking about it. You know, 6 + 1 or 6 -1 is very similar to an 8 even chart. Slightly stronger because you could roll snakes and everything dies. But a 6 -1 is pretty much the equivalent of an 8 even chart. So I put the HMG there and just give me firepower. Again, this unit here, I'm not sure if I mentioned or not. This guy here is so he can keep this guy, and this guy in line of sight so they don't gain concealment. Same thing with here. Line of sight here, no concealment, no concealment. Plus this guy will spot for the mortar. It will spot for the mortar. Why, Stu, why do you guys spot? He's shooting right down the road. Well, he can turn this direction. And now, since this unit can see him and possibly him, he gets to pound these guys with 81mm mortar fire. And what are they in? Nothing and woods. And remember, shots here with indirect fire reduces the terrain effect modifier of any woods or walls, or not woods, walls and hedges by 1. So 0 modifier, -1. I'll take it all day. That's the reason why I have a spotter here for him. This guy is simply for denial of concealment at the beginning of the game. So turn 1, what happens? Let me switch this back over. Prep fire. Do I prep fire? No, I smoke. Smoke 8, smoke 8, smoke 8. What happens? Foof. Say, Stu, why just smoke there instead of like the road or some garbage like that, you know? Or over here? Well, I'm going into the building. I don't care to fire, you know. I'm going to go into the building. And actually, the smoke there, second shot, because I get ready to fire, thank God. Roll an 8, smoke that SOB down the road. Now his machine gun has no counter fire against my mortar for a turn and a half, 2 turns until he gets out of that smoke. If he comes out of the smoke, guess what happens? 81mm mortar in the face, 3 rate of fire. Plus, I already got my acquisition on him. We're just going to put a 1/2 inch. Well, actually, it's green. The hell with that. Right? There's a 1/2 inch acquisition on him here. I can't track him. But let's say he goes here, I fire again, and, you know, with 3 rate of fire, you get your acquisition right back immediately. So he doesn't want to go there and take 8 even shots on him. That's pure and simple fact. So I smoked there, and I smoked his HMG. I got lucky on the second shot. The second smoke was free. I didn't need it, but since I got it, it's free. Now what happens? Floodgates open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement factors. He fires up on me point blank. 16 -1 with the heroic leader into +5, which means it's 16 + 4. Looking at your chart, I'll take that all day. 16 + 4 means he needs a 6 for a normal morale check. If this crew can't take a normal morale check or a 1 morale check, I pretty much just need to lose anyway, because that's what he's there for. He fires upon me, nothing happens. I think what he does, I think he voluntarily breaks his unit and routes him back, so I can't jump him in close combat and utterly destroy him. These guys move up. I think they stay in open ground. He might move there, I'm not sure. And then I think we advance at the end of the turn up like that. So I think that's the end of turn 1. Over here, these units advance up here. I take a couple shots. He goes down. I think he ends up the road. This guy moves up. I think this guy moves here. And this bad boy moves to this position. I think he moves here. I think he moves over. I don't know where the hell he moves. He moves to a position. I think he moves here. He moves to it. He avoids this space right here, because I see, if you watch that if you look at that LOS, straight down this row is hindrances. This hex is open ground. Again, watch that LOS video. That's open ground, because this is directed fire that way is the wall. So anything between there and there is open ground. So I didn't want to move my leader there. Oh, come on, really? I didn't want to move him there, because then he'd have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 -2 shot on me, and that's my HMG. I'm not going to take that chance, not this early. So I moved him here. I think he breaks one of these guys. Gone. Okay. This unit here, I don't double stack them. I simply move him over. One guy, one leader. Actually, I think the leader moves back. He breaks and he moves with him. And these guys hug the wall. Okay. This happens over here. He's broken over here. These units get together, join up fights. I think he takes a couple pot shots over here. Nothing happens. He doesn't try to get across the road yet. He just stays there. He might fire. Actually, he moves here because he sees my HMG. He anticipates this LOS, and it's a good shot. He anticipates that LOS, and he just gets out. So he expects the armor cars to come up, so he has the 3 LMG, the ATR, the HMG was just smoked, and he has an LMG over here. So he has 4 anti-tank weapons against my weak armor units. My armor units have an armor of 1 and an armor of 0. They can be destroyed by those weapons, so you don't want to risk him in that capacity. Again, 5 victory points. You don't want to give him any free victory points. So my armored cars, at that point, what they were going to do is turn 1 and turn 2 come. He comes here. I think a defensive fire on him. I think he gets a battle hardened. I think he gets casual reduced, and then he gets battle hardened. And then also a hero creation. So he gets a hero out of this. I'm just going to duplicate this guy. So there's a hero over here with these guys, with my fire. And then he moves his hero over here. Moves it back here. I don't have LOS to that location. Not on the actual boards. On these boards you might, but not on the actual boards. I think it's blocked. So I then advance up. I think I do something like this. I think this guy rallies. He didn't move many units on his side. Let me see. What am I doing? And then my 8-1 comes back over here. 2-8 goes over here. Again, we just want to stop him. Primary mission. The primary mission. Nobody gets across. Nobody gets across. These guys in front of me are incidental. They're just like speed bumps. Nobody gets across the bridge. So, armor cars come on. Mortars. Second turn. Got no targets over here. Smoke, smoke. I think he moves over here. Something like that. Mortar switches. Comes over here, blasts him. I think he blasts this guy. He breaks. This guy's fine over here. Armor cars come on. They are radioless. Platoon movement. You don't want these guys to get stuck across the road radioless. This guy happens to come over here. He advances back over there. My 9-2 and my big boys during his defensive fire phase, because I think this guy goes up to level 1. So he hides at level 1, so he's out of line of sight, and this guy backs up. So I fire over here, get a snake eyes. I think I delete him, and I mouth the weapon. Very good shot. Very lucky shot. So one anti-tank weapon gone. I think this guy breaks as well during that interim by the end of turn 2. And so pretty much what I do is I move my armor cars up to here, and they start to pound. They start to pound those guys over there with their machine guns, just to keep them DM'd. Keep them DM'd, they can't come across. Keep them DM'd, they can't come across. He routes back here. I think he routed here, then he ended up routing back here. Armor cars move up, come over here. You know, intensive fire. Not intensive fire, but keep them DM'd. These guys in the middle, I actually didn't gain much ground on that. And these guys over here, the interesting thing in this particular scenario, my smoke worked, so I'm just going to remove the smoke. A couple turns later, it depletes. This depletes. First shot, mouth. 2 repairs later, gone. Second game out of 3 where the enemy HMG didn't get a shot off. So now he's stuck there. I think he runs back over here and he tries to do something funky over here. I'm kind of scared of this situation because if the 8-1 gets a street fighting or jumps me in close combat, that's a good to kill number. So after I got these guys over here and DM'd them on turn 3, it's like, if these 548s want to kind of trap me on that side of the road, because if he goes here, it might be kind of tricky. So I try to get these guys back over here on the road, and they kind of got stuck here. These guys here, all these guys broke. And they ended up routing back over here with the leader and the LMG. And then what I did is I split units up here. I didn't want to, when I attacked him in spread units, and then I eventually ended up breaking him. But I attacked him and spread out my units. And then I moved this guy, I think here or here. I had another guy backing up. I think I had guys like that. And then he backed up here, and then he moved over here, or moved first level over there, so he can maintain fire over here. So what I did here, and actually the this guy was, I think he was over here, or maybe the smoke was still there. But I moved my big stack up over here, got rid of that, and I had a unit here. So what I did here, these guys were DM. This is a key part of the game. I don't need to chase these guys down. I DM them. They routed away from EE7. They routed away from EE7. They low crawled back to that location there. Okay? They didn't want to take interdiction. The problem with that is it only bought him a half a turn, because a unit here and a unit here reduces his chances or eliminates his route options next turn. What must broken units do if they are in the normal range and in open ground of an enemy unit? Checking the rule, they must route. Failure to route invokes failure to route penalties. Guess what? He can't come this way because he's getting closer to this unit here. He can't come this way, getting closer to this unit here. So therefore, he can't go into the building because he's getting closer to both units in LOS. Both of those units in open ground are then subject to failure to route penalties. die, die. I think I had this guy here, and the heroic guy just moves forward at that point. So I killed 2 units simply by breaking them and letting them route to where they can't come back. So that was my key there, is since he had units in this building instantly, I had to, my plan from the beginning of the game again, high risk, high reward. Smoke doesn't work, I'm going into the building anyway. 16 plus 2 instead of 16 plus 5. I got to take it. I got to rely on my morale to keep me alive. And if they break, they break. If not, if they break, they can route. Because I can just route back the direction because he doesn't LOS. And then it delays me a turn or 2. But the mortar, still covering the road. HMG, still covering the road. I just want to destroy these units over here, so then I can destroy the units in the middle or stop the units from coming across. So at that point, I had these units here. Most of them were in pretty good condition. I think I get into the building, turn 4 maybe. HMG probably just stands there. He's got to cover that road, cover the road. And I think his last ditch effort in trying to kill these tanks, because these tanks are 10 victory points. Hero 548. That's a hell of a kill, and a -1 hero. Yeah. He had a actual regular hero, not a -1 leader. So that would be a 5, 6, 7 to kill on a tank. So he tried to jump me there. I spun my machine guns around. He happened to break, and that was the end of the game. So he didn't have any units across the bridge at that point, and these guys weren't getting across either. So tight game. The only reason why I won it is because the sheer aggression on the right-hand side. The rest of this over here was just kind of like, you know, like a sideshow. This was the entire game right here, and eliminating those 2 squads in FF6 for failure to route. So, fun game. This is the 3rd game of the mini, and this is the 3rd game that actually granted me the Blitzkrieg mini champion. So, win 3 games in a row, and you bring home some wood. So, thanks for watching, and I'll go over the other 2 games that ran in the next round in the next video. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.